Communication number 1 to Avram Avinu was where? In Haran. The word used to communicate to him was Vayomer. Communique number 2 to Avram is where? In Shechem. After his arrival, as we saw in Pasuk, where is it? Pasuk Zayin, verse 7. And only here does the Torah use the word Vayera, and God appears. We explained yesterday, it's a higher level of revelation. It's a Gilui Shechina, a revelation of a divine presence, which is much higher than the contact Avram received in Chutz La'aretz. We see that this point is brought to us by the Netziv of Volozhin, Rav Naftali Tzuyud of Berlin, one of the great later scholars. Notice here in communique number 2, Avram gets a promise. Lizaracha, to your seed, etain et haaretz hazah. Was he promised this beforehand? No. So once Avram performs, overcomes challenge number 1, he travels for hundreds of kilometers with his wife called Sarai, and the people and also his nephew, who's also his brother-in-law, Lot and Sarai, come from the same Abba called Haran. Haran. Let me hear that. Hey, Haran, and not the place called Haran. Okay.
It's not right the same.
Hey instead of chet. Okay. So here, for the first time, he's promised Eretz, this land. Do you see those words in Pasuk Zayin, please? Verse 7. Lizaracha etein et haaretz hazot. Tomorrow, even though it's election day, we're going to still be learning. And we'll also have an additional shiur in the afternoon on the Parshat. We may do a worksheet. What?
Instead of Shmuel?
I don't know yet. Is it clear? Lizaracha etein et haaretz hazot. To your seed, I'm going to give you this land. Is that clear, or is there something vague here?
Clear.
What's clear?
He said, I will give you the land.
What is clear? What's not clear?
Where the land is?
What is the land? Is that clear? It's not mentioned.
Just says, I will show you. Yeah.
No, I will show you where to go. But it doesn't say what is the land.
But,
There are things that are still vague.
But here it's already in the...
Oh, so Shechem, Seder. But what about Afula? What about Gush Etzion? What about Rehovot? What about Weitzman University? Huh? It's not clear. I'm leaving it open. We should be dealing with it later. Pasuk Chet. We're up to verse 8. Vaya'atek misham hahara. Mikedem. You all have the place, I assume? If not, scream. Not for ice cream, just scream.
Chet is 8, right?
נכון. פסוק ח' ויעתק משם ההרה מקדם לבית אל ויית אהלו. בית אל מים והעי מקדם. ויבן שם מזבח לאדוני ויקרא בשם אדוני. When you read that ויעתק משם ההרה, Avram uproots, removes himself from where he is, and he's traveling on the mountain range. What initial question should we raise or ask? Don't just accept this. What should bother you? What should you ask?
Which mountain?
Which mountain? We see the way he's traveling. He's staying in the mountain range. But let's ask a more essential question.
I need to go here and there.
Why does he need to move? Exactly. Beautiful. What? Does he suffer from what is it called? Koshi Rikuz? What is it called? Keshav Rikuz?
ADD.
Does he have ADD? He can't sit still. What's going on here? I'm asking. Is it a good question or not? Not because I'm asking him. The Mefarshim ask it. What is he going around for? Second, why is the Torah telling us? So let's bring back Masei Avot Siman Labanim. We'll get to that in a moment. No, let's answer it right away. I go back. I want to say, Avram is promised the land. He's going out and showing as if he must possess the land. This is mine. When you walk around in your property. You don't go into someone's backyard, do you? That's what is it called? Trespassing, thank you. Avram Avinu received a promise. Lezaracha, to your seed, etene to aretz hazeh, I'm going to give you this land. He goes out and possesses it. So too, the Jewish people later on. Yoshua ben Nun, when he comes into the country, he too will go out and possess the land. There are obstacles called 7 Canaanite nations. You can give them a few Hershey bars and ask, would you like to remain here and stop your Sunday morning activities? And if they don't, then we have to go to war, called Milchemet Mitzvah, the war of Mitzvah. So Avram right now is going out to possess other areas. Shechem is in the north, and he's going in a direction of Beit El, which means in which direction? South. But he doesn't go to Beit El, does he? He goes to a place which is Mikedem. Kedem is which direction? East. Mikedem leBeit El. Okay. Vayet Oholo, he pitches the tent. Oholo. Look at me. Divide the word Oholo into 2 words. Ohel Shalom. How do you spell Oholo? Aleph, Hey, Lamed, Vav. How is it spelled here? Uh-oh. So your question is, why is it spelled that way? Rather, he took care of his wife's tent. First Rashi brings the name of the Midrash. And then he took care of his tent. No, they're not divorced. No, they're not separated. But she needs a platz. She needs a place. She has to sew, to cook, to take care, ironing, I don't know.
Maybe she has many clothes.
Maybe playing shuffleboard. I don't think she's playing shuffleboard. What?
Maybe she has many clothes.
She has clothing. So don't ask a question, why does she have her ohel? And they need 2 ohelim.
To keep the law of Nida.
Or to keep the laws of Nida. Were they given yet? They weren't given. So what are you talking about?
But there's some laws at that time.
7 Noachite laws include the laws of a menstruating woman, yes or no?
No.
No.
No, but
I was like, wow, that's chadash.
What's that?
I'm saying it's chadash.
That would be chadash. No, there's no. But what's bothering Ranan, I know, is he knows a famous midrash. This guy reads a lot of midrashim, like you. And he says he remembers that Avram fulfilled all of the Torah. I refuse to talk about that right now. Okay? So, Avram, he's not one of these guys, born in America and he's a gentleman. And that's why he's, ladies first. That's not why he's doing it. He loves his wife. And in Judaism, we love our wives even more than we love ourselves. Whoever says that Judaism is chauvinistic or anti-women, all this is, here you see how much respect Avram is doing, that when they now make a stop, he's taking care of Ohalo, spelled with the last letter, hey, as if it's written Ohel Shalah. Do you see that? Okay, next. He pitches his tent. Where is it exactly? Beit El Miyam. Where he's pitching his tent, Beit El, is to the Yam. Which Yam?
The Mediterranean.
Not Yam HaMelach, Yam HaTichon. Also called in Chazal or the Torah, Yam Gadol. The Yam is to the
East, to the west.
East.
Don't do that again. To the
West.
No, I'm confused.
used to work in the airport. You know all the directions. Into the west.
West.
Not west. Be careful, we'll send you back to work in that airport. Gentlemen, Beit El is to the west. A place called Ha'ai is to the Mikedem.
East.
Sounds like Givat Asaf. Huh? Okay, where Dor Moshe was doing guard duty. many summers ago, about 12, 13 summers ago, when I would go early to the synagogue at 6, I would often in the summertime meet a bus, and being let off are these Christian archaeologists from California University, right in front of Givat Asaf, in the plaza area in front of the fence. They would leave their hotel in Yerushalayim at 5:30 and get there before 6, and they would go to do their diggings year after year, digging up what they think is the biblical town of Ha'ai. And they've published findings in this and that. Okay, and I noticed that they were Americans and what's going on here. I started talking to them on the other side of the fence. I don't know where it is exactly, but here we know that Ha'ai is east, Beit El is west. This is where Avram is in the middle. What's important about this? Later on, we're going to be meeting up with the war of who? Yoshua ben Nun. The war, the first war that we're going to fight, Mamish, in a war, because the first war that we fought was the city of Yericho. How many bullets were shot? None. Thank you, Renan. I got to get up early to beat Renan because he's been up all night. Okay? He has a job working up all night. So no bullets were shot. We surrounded the city once daily and 7 times on the 7th day, which is Shabbos according to Chazal. And then shofarot were blown, as we learned in the book of Yeshua. The walls fell. We penetrated into the city, ablazed the city, and that is the first war. The second war is this place. Ha'ai, Beit El. Ha'ai, really? We lost the first war, and we're going to fight a second war. So not by mere incident, the second place that Avram Avinu arrives to is the place next to Ha'ai. Masei Avot. No. One more time. Masei Avot. Siman Lebanim. What happens to the Avot happens to the Banim.
It's also the place where Yaakov had his dream.
Wow. Yaakov Avinu also goes to Beit El. He falls asleep. He lies his head down on a rock. Very good. Gemara Masechet Chulin deals with the contradiction in the Psukim. And one understanding is that Beit Yerushalayim was uprooted and placed in the city of Beit El. And there he falls asleep and he has a prophetic dream. V'hinei Sulam Mutzav Arza V'rosho Magia Shamayma V'hinei Malachei Elohim Olim V'yordim Bo V'nei Hashem Nitzav Alav. So this prophetic dream of seeing angels in the city of Beit El, something very, very special about Yaakov as he's fleeing from his brother Esau that wants to kill him, and his father knows nothing about this danger. Go get a shidduch where our family comes from. So yes, Beit El is visited by Yaakov Avinu, and there he has this prophetic dream of angels going up and down the sulam, the ladder. What does Mr. Avram Avinu do in this area of Beit El that he did in Shechem? What does he do?
He pitched his tent.
What else? He builds a Mizbeach. Vayiven sham Mizbeach la Hashem. For the sake of God. La Hashem. Vayikra b'shem Hashem. Rav Shimshon Raphael Hirsch, one of the great later commentators, says, wow, this is a clear contrast to the generation of division. When they were building a migdal, a tower, v'na'aseh shame. We mentioned this point briefly yesterday. Let's make a shame. Publicity. NBC, you know what I'm talking about? ABC, NBC, CBS. Let's make a name for ourselves. That's selfishness. That's egoism. Okay? Remember that Shabbat we had in the Gush Etzion Hills, who came early to help out? That's idealism. To be submissive of yourself, to be giving of yourself. Avram, what kind of person is he? He is not looking to make a name out of himself. Vayikra b'shem Hashem. He's looking to call out in the name of God. There's one God in the world. There's monotheism. There are values in the world. There's a reason why to get up and be nice and to do goodness and kindness in the world. Okay? It's not self-pride. It's idealism. So here we're meeting up with Avram and idealism. He goes to a second place and he calls out in the name of God. He talks to people. He talks to people. Why should we be doing certain things? 7 Noachite laws. Why should we be doing this? Does Avram sit still? Pasuk tet. Vayisa Avram haloch v'naso ha'negba. He continues in the direction of south. Hanegba. And your question is?
Why?
Why what?
He go to south.
Why is he going south? What's the matter? You can't sit still in Beit El? Hi. What do Chazal say about directions? Harotze lahatzpin, harotze lahashir yatzpin, harotze lahachkim yadrim. My wife and I went on a 3-day trip up north in the beginning of last week. That's why you didn't see me here. We're part of a group hiking up north. And you see the fertile valley, the Chula Valley, under Kiryat Shmona, under Chatzor HaGlili, one of the most fertile valleys in the country, which was full of malaria and everything in the coming of the state. One of the most fertile areas, the producing of apples and nectarines and avocados and all types of fruit in that area. It's also one of the most famous stop places for birds, traveling from Europe en route to Africa, going through the cradle, stopping there. There's so much vegetation and so much nutrition for birds. It's a very famous place. It's now a nature preserve in Emek HaChula. In any event, the north represents fertile land. Great growers of fruits and vegetables are up north in the lower Galilee, in the upper Galilee, in the Golan, under the Hermon, and so on and so forth. Like it appears that God promised us a land filled with mayanot, with springs, with water. The Jordan rivers, there's so many springs up north. Some of you know through hiking up north, one of the most beautiful places to hike. So Chazal say, you want to become wealthy? Harotze la'ashir? Yatzpin. Go to the tzafon. What is tzafon? North. Harotze la'achkim? Yadrim. You want to be la'achkim? Wise? Yadrim. Go south. Why?
Desert, maybe?
Why? You're right. We go to Yerushalayim, which is considered south. And we have the Judean desert next to us. We have the Hebron mountains, which is also on the seam of the desert. A group of Gerei Tzedek that joined Yoshua ben Nun and were given the area of Yericho. Bnei Yitro, the Kini. They did not want to settle and remain there. Some of you know the Jericho Valley is filled with springs. Okay, and the Arab farmers there have benefited so much before the Oslo Accord. When we traveled through them, you would see their stores with greeny vegetables and fruit. I'm talking about before the 1990 Oslo Accord, before the first Intifada. They benefited so much. These Gerei Tzedek decided, we want to be more connected to God. They left. And where did they settle? Midbar Yehuda. In Midbar Yehuda, how many Rami Levis are there in the Judean desert? Grocery stores? Yonatan?
None.
Okay. So you're quite limited as far as the physical pleasures in the world. Okay? I just went to pay a shiva call, a consolation call to Rishon LeZion. Couldn't believe how much it's built up. New buildings, construction. Wow, what a level of living. I went into this 4-story building. I said, something smells here. They have an automatic, what is it called?
Fragrance
dispenser. Even in the hallway of this building, wow, it smells like flowers all the time. I said, man, these people enjoy nice living with a good sense and scent. I don't see that many places. There are people that enjoy that living. These people were so righteous, fearful of God. These Gerei Tzedek, They were not interested in it. They went to live in the Judean desert to get more wisdom of Torah, to give up some of the physical material pleasures. Chazal say, Harotze lachkim, you want to be wise? Yadrim, go to the Darom. Very good. Maybe that's what Avraham Avinu was teaching us. In addition, he's looking to possess land. Haloch v'nasoa hanegba. And here, I don't know in whose chumash, I think in Matanya's, we have a break. Is it true? We have a break here?
Yes.
Which letter is published in your chumash?
Pay.
Pei? Okay, Thomas, Pei stands for?
He's 7-9.
Patuach. Patuach. Right? You hit the enter button, you skip the rest of the line. It seems in your chumash it's not printed that way. Can you please, who has it this way? Please show it to everyone. You don't have it your way. No, Matanya, show the. I'll show mine. Look at this. You see? This is the end of the pasuk. It doesn't have the printed pay. You have a printed pay?
No.
You do not have. You have a printed pay?
But it's different of the...
You have a pay there. You have a printed pay there? So it means we're skipping the line. What is it coming to tell us? Why is God having it written this way?
It's like a break in
It's a break. It's a new section.
Long break. There's a small break.
It's a small break. Pasuk Yud. Vayihi ra'av ba'aretz. Vayered Avram Mitzrayim lagur sham. Ki chaver harav ba'aretz.
You're saying the break means there's a gap of time between when...
It could be in a lapse of time. It could be a new section, a new thought, a new idea. Absolutely.
To go to Raf Levi.
Go. He's a very polite person. It's probably from Holland. Gentlemen, what do I care economically what's going on here in the land of Canaan? Avram goes into the grocery store, and instead of selling tomatoes, agvaniyot, for 5 shekels for a kilo, they're now being sold for 10 shekels. Vayihi ra'av ba'aretz. What determines a ra'av?
You want the rain?
Lack of rain. When there's a lack of rain, how does it influence the economy?
Nothing grows. No food.
No food. No food grows. Supply decreases. Demand remains the same. What happens to the price? It goes up. Vayirav ba'aretz.
Microeconomics.
Vayirav ba'aretz. Why? What were you told? What were you told this? Why? What message is the Torah coming to teach us? What do I care if there's a Rav Ba'aretz? Question 1. Question number 2. Vayered Avram Mitzrayim. He goes even further south. Thank you. Why? Lagorsham. To be a ger there. What's a ger? Foreigner. Stranger. And not to settle there. It doesn't say Lashevet Sham. It says Lagorsham. Why? What's the next expression? Ki chaved arav ba'aretz. Who's raising an analysis now? Is it really written twice? And analyze. Why does Avram leave the land of Canaan?
To test Avraham.
Ramban says this is one of the 10 tests that we mentioned yesterday. Pirkei Avot, the ethics of our fathers, chapter 5. Asara nisyanot nitnasa Avram Avinu. 10 trials Avram Avinu was tested. Here's one of them. But why is he going down? Does it tell you? Does the Torah tell you why he's going down?
Maybe a wise test.
I'm asking you, does the Torah tell you why he's going down to Mitzrayim?
Yes. It's right now.
What does it say? Someone said there's a question. The word Rav is mentioned twice. Is it true? Don't look at me. Look inside the Chumash.
The word Lav, yes.
The word says wise.
So what?
It could be...
Why does Avram leave? Look at the words.
Ki chaved harav.
Ki chaved harav. When there was just a Rav,
Yeah, he didn't go.
he didn't go. He went to his backyard. He had some cattle, some sheep maybe, some horses. He sold them. And now what can he buy? Food. But what happens when the Rav turns into a
It's severe.
severe Rav. But which word is this Torah using? Ki chaved harav ba'aretz. You see that, gentlemen? The Netziv of Lech-Lecha, he makes this diuk. He makes this. So, gentlemen, Avram made every effort he could to remain in the land. Why did he make every effort? What do you think? Why? What value is it?
Promised land.
Promised land. God says, "Lizaracha, to your seed I shall give this land." So he made every effort. He didn't leave when there was just a Rav. He only left when the Rav became Kaved. Very good. Excellent. Pasuk Yud Aleph. Vayikasher akriv lavo Mitzrayma, vayomer Sarai ishto, hinena yadati. Wow. Behold. A chidush, a novelty. I knew. Ki isha yafat mare'at. You're a beautiful woman. Yes, sir.
Why doesn't Abraham maybe talk to Hashem and ask what's going on? Like, I'm not sure if Hashem says the land I'll give to your seed, and just even if there's a severe famine, I don't know.
Maybe he did, and the Torah doesn't disclose it to us. But it's clear to us in one pasuk that he stalled, that he delayed, that he didn't just leave. Why? He's connecting to the ideal of this promise. But when situation says it's just impossible, he says, well, what's going to happen to me if I remain here? No food, no eating, no food, I die. I cannot inherit this land. Therefore, it's logical for me to leave. In other words, Avram, this is not going according to the Ramban. The Ramban has a different approach to this, that he even thinks that Avram failed in this matter. We're not going to get into this difficult understanding, but we can understand that he does pass the test, and he only leaves after he has no other choice. Otherwise, it's a case of pikuach nefesh. Going down to Mitzrayim. Why is it important to note that his wife is a beautiful wife? Yes, Pinchas.
Abraham
According to the Ramban, he's failing. He's not doing the right thing. But according to all the others, he's being tested. He's being challenged by Hashem. And he waits and delays, and he doesn't leave Eretz Canaan only when it's impossible to stay here. There's no food here. He's passing the test according to here. By the way, Masei Avot, the event that happened to the patriarchs, Siman, are assigned to the Banim. Who's going to go down to Mitzrayim? Yaakov Avinu. Why will Yaakov Avinu go down to Mitzrayim?
For a famine to in Israel.
Exactly. Who will even enter his mind to go down to Mitzrayim? Yitzchak Avinu. It was also difficulties. But did Yitzchak get a green light? He got a red light. You can't go down. You're very holy. You're very special. So what Avram is doing right now, he's paving the way, historically, ideologically, that when there's no chance to remain in the land of Israel, we're allowed to leave. But lagursham, to be a ger there, to be a stranger, a foreigner there, not to be a settler or citizen of the place. Now, Avram knows what's going on in Mitzrayim. He knows what kind of culture they are. Mitzrayim is the son of Cush.
You have it?
No, Canaan is the son of Cham. And Mitzrayim is one of the children of, here it is.
Mitzrayim is
Cham.
One of the children of Cham?
Yeah.
Which pasuk, please?
There's a graph here.
The graph.
6
Pasuk 6.
in chapter 10.
Thank you. Here it is. Uvnei Cham. Right, so it's one of the children of Cham. Mordechai. Was Cham blessed? Rather, cursed. Cham, when he saw his father's nakedness, he went to call his two brothers. Come, look what you can see, what I can see. Vulgarity. Very gross type of culture. Physical, material, vulgar culture. Yechezkel the prophet, when he refers to Mitzrayim and their culture, He says that their zera, their sperm is like the sperm of a sus. Very physical, very material. That's what the Mitzrayim culture is about. And that's what we saw in the action of Cham. Come, go see our father's nakedness. Do you remember learning that? Did you see that last week? Eitan? Cham, shame is not that way. Modesty. Holiness. Avram knows exactly where he's going, to a vulgar place. If these men, the Border Patrol police, see a beautiful woman, what could likely happen? Rape her. And if someone shows opposition, now we'll understand much more. I understand it's not that he didn't know about her beauty. She was, of course, a beautiful woman. She was very special. But now it could be a danger. Pasuk Yud Bet. They're talking to one another, husband to wife, verse 12. Vehaya. Look at me. Haya means
It was
Vehaya,
the future.
and it will be. It's called the Vav HaHipuch. The turning around Vav. Yonatan, you've heard of this before? Vav HaHipuch. In the biblical grammar, the Vav before a verb turns a past verb into the future verb into the past. Haya means it was. Vehaya, and it will be. Vehaya, it'll be the following. Ki yiru otach Mitzrayim, when the Egyptians see you. V'yamiru, and they're going to say what? Ishtozot? Right? Or we're going to say, this is the wife. You know what they're going to do to me? V'hargu oti v'otach yichayu. They're going to kill me. Imrina. He gives a command. Imri. But he's polite to his wife. Na. Na is please. Imrina. Achoti at. You're my
Sister.
Leman yitav li vavurech v'chayta nafshi biglalech. 2 questions. You're a liar. Yeah, you, Avram Avinu. Isn't he lying? What? You're allowed to lie? In what case? In this case, why?
Because it's a matter of
It's a matter of life and death. Let's say you're my sister. Okay? And then what will they do? What, sir?
It's her niece.
Right.
His niece.
Avram married his niece.
Yeah.
Right. So, Chazal say, Rashi brings a second explanation that it's not really a total lie, but there are cultures. Okay? I think, I don't know which cultures, but I think even in Africa, I think they call a relative like a sister or a brother. It's certainly, in India, in fact, I think, in Indian culture, I think, if I'm not mistaken, maybe some of you know, that they call relatives like a brother or sister. Have you come in contact with that? Have you seen that before? So it's not like a real lie.
I've seen that.
Have you seen that before? Yeah. I think they do. I think Usher has showed that to me several times. My dear friends, you're Avram Avinu. God promised you when you were in Shechem, Lezaracha etenet haaretz azot. I'm repeating. To your seed, I'm going to give you this land. How many kids does Avram have?
2. 3.
How many kids does Avram have right now?
Right now, 0.
Right now we're talking about.
Okay.
Does he have kids?
No.
No. What's the matter, Avram? Don't you believe in God? Didn't he promise you? He's going to give to your seed these kids? What is Avram doing? Is this a lack of belief? Do you understand the question we're raising here? It's a major question. Eitan, do you understand the question? Didn't God promise I'm going to give you this land to your children? And now he's putting on all these, what is it called? Tactic, strategy, doing whatever he's doing. What's the answer?
He must do every effort that he can.
Another
Beautiful. Very good. What?
I have candies.
Where's the... Ein somchim ala nes. We believe in Hashem, but we have to make our efforts to make sure that things happen like they're supposed to happen. And we don't rely on nisim, on miracles. We rely on God. But the fact that I believe in God should not decrease for one moment my efforts, my planning, my tactics or strategies. Here, Avram uses a strategy. And of course, you have to strategize with your fellow mate, his wife. Now, let me ask you something. The reason he's doing it says, Lema'an yitavli va'avurech. Literal translation, so that he will do good for me on your behalf. What does it mean? Leman yitavli va'avurech. Huh?
Rashi's saying, Itnuli matanot.
I don't understand this Rashi. Huh? Avram is a person that's looking for gifts, for presents. Who remembers the great effort? Avram runs hundreds of kilometers up north until Damascus to free his nephew from captivity in a war against the 4 kings that overcame the 5 kings. Yes or no?
Yes.
And then he's offered gratuities. What does Avram say there?
No thanks.
Afilu srochnal. Even a shoelace I'm not willing to take. Don't let anyone think that you're the ones that are supporting me. Avram denies gifts. Avram is not interested in getting these gratuities. That's the type of person he is. Hashem's going to give me parnasa. I'll make my efforts and God will support me. So if that's the case, what is he saying here? So there are those that explain this Rashi that the matanot that we're talking here about is just simply life. I'll be alive. And that's the next words. Leman yitavli bavurech, which is what? V'chayta nafshi. I'll be able to live biglalech, because of you. So we answered that question. Any other questions? This explanation, by the way, is brought by the Radak, Rabbeinu David ben Kimchi, one of the great Rishonim. The gift here is to remain alive. Do you follow what I'm saying? V'chayta nafshi, my soul will live biglalech, because of you. If you play with me, and you also say that I'm your brother, you're my sister, and they won't kill me, they'll take you. Meaning, God forbid, they'll take you. Don't misunderstand. In the event that they stop us at the border terminal, and they look at you and see you're beautiful, and they take you, we play the game that you're my sister. And this way it'll assure my life to be alive. He's hoping it's not going to happen. But you have to get ready for every scenario, don't you? You have to take into account every scenario. Pasuk Tedva vayiru ot asarei Faro vayilu ot el Paro vatukach ha'isha beit Paro. Everyone read for yourselves again verse 15. Question number 7 on the worksheet that you received yesterday. Can you prove that Sarah was taken against her will? Read and examine the pasuk again. Can you prove that Sarah was taken against her will? Vatukach. Hard for us as new speakers of the Hebrew language. It's pu'al, if I'm not mistaken. It's a passive tense in the verb, vatukach, and she was taken. Why does it say that? To prove what point?
She didn't go willingly.
They said, Miss Sarai, would you come on? And what did she say? No. Please come. You're going with us. We're the border patrol, Magav, and we'll take you to the king. She says, I prefer not. And then what did they do? They just walked up to her and said, you're coming with us. That's what they said to her. Vatukach. So by the Torah using this tense of pu'al, was taken, it shows it's against her will. She wants to remain pure, holy to her husband. She's not a woman that plays around with other men. Yes, sir.
Why did it say Haisha? And that's not her name.
Very nice. Very nice. Excellent question. Do you hear his question? Dor Moshe asks, it says, Vatukach ha'isha beit paro. Why doesn't it just say Vatukach Sarah? You know what? I never thought of this question. I'm happy you're asking. Who has an answer? Do you have a pencil? Is there a pencil on this table that I can use afterwards? I don't know where my pencil is. How much do you take for every letter? Really?
Yeah.
What, please, Yehonatan?
Could it possibly be because they weren't interested in who she was, just what she was as a commodity?
Maybe. Could be an answer. Another answer anyone have in addition?
What's the question?
Why does it say Ha'isha? Vatukach paro. Thank you, sir. Oh, that's a good pen.
And not what?
What Vatukach Sarah? Huh? What vibes do you get here? What do you understand here? The fact that she's an Eshet Ish. She's a married woman. This is a severe thing. They're taking a married woman in order to sleep with her. That's the vulgarity of this culture. That's the danger of this place. Ha'isha is they don't care. That's their culture. They see a beautiful woman, it's vulgarity. It's like American culture. You have sports teams and they swap their wives and they do this. It's hefkerut. There's no holiness. A man married to a woman is called kiddushin. It's holiness. And that's why the divorce rate in so many other countries is so high. It's hard enough to build shalom bayit with two different worlds living together.
They didn't know that she was married.
They didn't know that she was what?
Married.
So maybe the Torah says we don't care. I mean, the Torah is saying that they don't care. I think Ha'isha is emphasizing Eshet Ish. You're right that they think she's a sister, but maybe the sister's married to someone else.
And
Maybe.
even if they did know, that they would have just killed Abraham and taken her anyway.
Well, the question is, is it actually,
Do they know? You're saying, do they know?
No,
So maybe maybe Ha'isha. It doesn't say that she's Eshet Avram. That'll answer your question. Maybe she's still a married woman. Maybe she said that.
No, but we're always saying that Mitzrayim is like the
Vulgar culture.
Yeah. So why would they even respect that she's married? Why do they care? It's great, you're married. You don't have to kill Abraham. Just take her anyway. Why does it matter? If they're so great and depraved, huh?
Because he would oppose it, and it's just easier to get rid of him instead of having him oppose them, I guess.
No, I'm trying to it's a cultural thing where no one cares. Like, so he'll shout out in the town
Well, they
square
know
and
he's a
say,
foreigner. They know that they're foreigners.
That gives more credence to my argument.
I want to add something.
On the contrary.
It says Ha'isha with the capital Hey. Heya Yedua. Ha'isha Yedua, a known woman, a special woman. And looking where they're taking her to. Beit Paro. Oh, she's really gorgeous. Look, she's really special. She deserves to be taken to the king. That's another emphasis. She's Ha'isha, the most special woman. What did they do to Avram? Well, Avram itiv ba'avura. They didn't ask him. They just gave it to him. What did they give him? Wow, look at this wealth. Pasuk Tet in the middle of 16. Vayilo, tzonu vakar, v'chamorim, v'avadim u'shvachot, v'tanot u'gmalim. It's like millions of dollars of livestock here. Sheep and cattle and donkeys. That's trucks, servants, maidservants, atanot u'gmalim. Wow. What's coming true in this event that God promised Avram?
Well,
very nice. Va'avarecha, I'm going to bless you. You're going to have wealth. Believe me, Avram didn't want to have wealth this way, but right now he doesn't have a choice in the matter. Why do you think they're giving him so much wealth?
They're trying to buy sister from him.
They're trying to buy her to show, wow, she's really special. She's worth a lot. And he's getting all this. He doesn't have a chance. Pasuk Yud Zayin, the interaction of God. Vayinaga Adonai et Paro nigaim gedolim vet beito al devar Sarai eshet Avram. Wow, they're being hit and hit hard. They're being plagued. Maseh avot siman labanim. This too will happen later in history, a few hundred years from now. When who's going to be plagued? The Egyptian people. Nigaim gedolim. Pasuk Yud Chet vayikra Faro leAvram vayomer ma zot asita li. He puts two and two together. He believes in his own gods, but he believes that something is happening. How is it that my foreign minister, the minister of economics, the minister of social affairs, the sports minister, the culture minister, Everyone in his parliament is sick in bed. Nigaim. And Rashi explains the name of the Midrash. It's hurting them where they are excreting their waste. They're in tremendous pain. Everyone's suffering the same thing. Now he's playing innocent. Why didn't you tell me she's your wife?
So he didn't know. How would he know?
What? Oh, so now he's putting two and two together. That she's a married woman. Very nice. He's playing simply and is playing, I'm okay. We took her by force. She didn't want, we took her by force. Why don't you tell me she's your wife? He succumbs. He gives in. He says, okay, this is your wife, take her. Wow. Because he's hit so hard. He's hit so hard. Why doesn't Paro say, please, welcome. Please live here in Mitzrayim. He doesn't say that. Who does say that later on? Rashi brings the name of Chazal, Avimelech. Avimelech says, Hine artzi lefanecha. Why doesn't Paro offer an invitation to Avram and Sarai to live in Mitzrayim? What does he know?
Maybe they bring with them a level of morality that they can't.
Not that they live in morality. The people in Mitzrayim, he can't trust his own people. Someone's going to rape her. Someone's going to take her. Now we're really going to be in trouble. Therefore, what does he say? Just take her and get going. Get lost. There's no reason for you to hang around. I remember when I was learning the yeshiva, if I stayed after Shachar to learn more in the Beit Midrash and I came late to breakfast, we had a very tough cook who ran the kitchen in yeshiva in Beit El. And she was a very holy woman. Okay? You can almost taste the holiness in the food she prepared for us. She showed me coming in, like I walked in at 8:20 and 8:25 and breakfast ending at 8:30. Says, Menachem, kach ubrach. Take the food and get out of here. And just get out of here. Get back to the Beit Midrash. You want to come eat? Come at 8 o'clock or something like that. That's what Paro says to him. Kach velech. Take your wife and get going. What's your question, Jonathan?
Was she violated as a married woman at all during this time?
So this is, apparently, that's what Chazal read in between the lines, that he wanted to sleep with her. And when he wanted to sleep with her, he was plagued. He was hit. He was punished. And that's why it's so quickly he's working here. By the way, Pasuk of the ending of the chapter, Vayitzav alav Paro anashim. Paro says, you need a convoy. You need a accompaniment. Vayishalechu oto. And they accompany him. Why are they accompanying him?
They're escorting him out.
Why?
The people are going to rape.
They don't want to rape. They want to prevent raping, taken by force. Paro knows what kind of people they have. Your question, Mr. Ravid.
I just was thinking why Paro didn't kill him. Because he was lying.
You're right. However, Paro senses there's something metaphysical happening to so many people. They're plagued to a certain extent. He's afraid that if he touches Avram, meaning if he causes him pain or harm, he's destined to be hit as hard as possible by some metaphysical force. Don't think Paro is a stupid person. He's head of a civilization, an empire. It's one of the most important powers right now in the world, maybe number one. In wealth, in culture, in power. He's not a stupid person. He puts two and two together. Yes, Matanya.
I accept that argument, but what I'm curious is why don't they take all the sheep and cattle and donkeys and slaves and maidservants and everything back?
And?
Why don't they take that back? Like they gave it to you because you're giving your wife to the pharaoh. The least you'd expect is that you wouldn't. It's like here, just like everyone's expecting what happened. Basically,
who has an answer to his question? Why not be an Indian giver? I mean, give and take back. Huh? What do you say?
They're afraid. They're afraid again, like you said, like to cause them any sort of pain. They're just like, here, take everything and get out.
Makes sense. I think so. Also, they're meeting up with the man of God.
And also, like you said,
I don't mind that they do that. I don't understand why Abraham would accept that.
Why did he accept all the monies?
No, the first time you said because they were buying Sarah from him. Sarah.
Why doesn't he leave it? Leave it for them?
Like the other time that he doesn't want.
Maybe he sees it as a fulfillment of God's promise. I'm going to give you a blessing. It can come from anywhere. You never know where the blessing's coming from.
But it sounds like you're kind of
A bribe?
Contaminated.
But this is maybe what he sees, the eyes of God here. He sees the eyes of God that, wow, Sarah's life was saved. Sarai's life was saved and I was done with all these gifts. It's all part of a divine plan. And also, Maaseh Avot. What does Maaseh Avot mean? The events, La'asot, to do, the events that happen to the Avot. I remember you going out 3,500 years ago from Egypt. What were you schlepping in front of all of your, in front of all your luggage? What was inside your luggage when you're going out of Egypt? Matzah, what else?
The wealth.
Aren't you the one that knocked on the neighbor's door? What do you have in your cupboard on the second shelf? Gold jewelry, please. How do you know? You know. What? Can we borrow your gold jewelry? How did the Jewish people leave Egypt? Wealthy. Were they promised that? Absolutely. Where? In Brit Bein HaBetagim, Breshit chapter Tedvav, quote, we said it yesterday, V'acharechen yetzu, afterwards they will leave, Berechush gadol, with a lot of wealth. Masei avot siman avanim. Who's leaving with a lot of wealth? Avram. That's going to be a siman for the children, the nation afterwards. We too. Do you follow? So maybe there's Avram sees this as a divine pattern. Okay, we're ready. Parakid Gimel. Vayal Avram mimitzrayim. Hu v'ishto v'chol Parakid Gimel pasuk aleph. Okay, chapter 13, verse. Vayal Avram mimitzrayim hu v'ishto v'chol hashalo v'lo timo negba. Vayal. Why does the Torah use the verb vayal? Isn't the planet of Earth circular? Isn't everything flat? Why vayal?
North.
So when you're going north, you're going up.
Maybe,
Is that what you're saying?
Maybe from the depths of those disgusting people
Beautiful.
to purity.
Very nice. Beautiful idea. Inside this verb, we see several meanings. Thank you. Dor Shalom and also Yonatan. Physically, he's going up north. Going up north from northern Africa. Going to the Middle East, we're climbing up, right? Egypt is a lower country. Even the southern, are you aware that the southern part of the Negev is called, is a mountainous area, 500 meters above sea level? Mitzpeh Ramon, are you aware that it's in a mountainous area? Yes? The Sinai, what? A beautiful area. I'm hoping that'll be the place where we go on our 2-day teal on Chanukah. Be alert. So that's Vayal. And also culturally, he's leaving a disgusting place, and therefore it's considered a aliyah, which means going up. Who v'ishto? Look, the family's complete. What a miracle. Who ishto v'chol asher lo, all their possessions, and who else? Velot imo. And where are they going? To the Negev. Negev is which part of Israel? Southern Israel. When we're going from northern Africa, right? Mitzrayim, northern Africa, we're going to the Negev, yes?
Isn't it say about all the people that they converted in...
You're right. You're right. So maybe that's in the words v'chol asher lo, everything belonging to him. Okay? Was that stated going down? No. But maybe now it's being stated coming up. It could be. It doesn't have to be, but it could be. Vavram kaved me'od. Wow, he's heavy. He has a lot of loads. Ba mikneh. What is mikneh? Cattle. Sheep, things that you buy. Ba kesav v'zav, silver and gold. Vayelech lemasav, he goes on the same journey, mi Negev v'ad Beitel, from the Negev to Beitel. He's going back to his original place. Adamakom, hamakom, the place. Asher hayasham ohlo batchila, where he pitched her tent first. Bein Beitel, bein Beitai, uvenai. Apparently, Avram understands that going back to the original place in the area of Beitel is significant, is important. What did Avram build there? A mizbeach. What did he receive? Did he receive a promise in Beitel? No. He just got closer to God. So he's going back to the original place. He believes there's divine significance there. El Makom HaMizbech, the place where he built the altar, Asa Sham Barishona. And again, what does he do? Vayikra Sham Avram B'Shem Hashem. Avram calls out in the name of God. Avram Avinu He's working in PR, public relations. He's spreading that there's a one God. He's talking to people. He's not bashful. He's publicizing the name of God, not himself. He's not interested. He's carrying the flag of monotheism, of a culture of God, of values. And we now start a new story. V'gam lelot ha'olechet Avram. Et is a preposition, but here it means im. Et can also mean im, with. He's there together with Avram Lot. Hayatzonu v'karvo olim. Wow. Who benefited from the wealth of Avram Avinu? Lot. If Avram became wealthy, Lot also became wealthy. When you remain close to a great tzaddik, you benefit from him as well. And here we see this. Okay? Lot is wealthy. And now we have the problem. Can they get along together or not get along together? And that, God willing, we're going to leave starting tomorrow. Try to prepare this in advance. B'ezrat Hashem. Who here has voting rights? You have voting, and you have to go to try your registered Kfar Yonah. Who else? You have voting rights, Ravid? You have to go to. You don't have voting rights.
No.
You have to vote in.